Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with turning on the notification bell so you're alerted when I actually drop a video or go live, and thumbs ups. Very much appreciate those if you enjoy the video, and please drop your comments. I learned so much, and sometimes I overlook things, and I really appreciate, because this is our forum here, and it's really important for me to understand where you guys are coming from as well. All right, well, the New York Knicks, they did the improbable. The improbable. They went to OKC and they got revenge. It's so sweet the way they did it as well. They rolled OKC, even though the score is pretty tight. The OKC flirted with getting close, about 6 points they got in the third quarter with 4:56 left. But Jalen Brunson would not let them get any closer. His ability, his use of the backboard is masterful. It's incredible. His spin moves are just, I'm in awe of him. And he also, let's get to this. Look, 34 points, 9 assists on 70% field goal shooting. I think he only missed one 2-point field goal attempt in the whole game. Tremendous effort. And I made a comment in a previous video that I felt that Immanuel Quickley was a more creative passer. Well, tonight, Jalen made me eat those words. He was hitting guys in stride as they were cutting to the basket. Fantastic all-around game for him. Even on the defensive end, he did his job. He took charges. He helped create deflections. He was phenomenal tonight. I don't believe that we win this game without Jalen Brunson. It's obvious. And he's been doing that inside, left and right in games that we need, especially in the fourth quarter. In fact, this entire road trip, the games that we won, Knicks are coming back 3-2 from this the West Coast road trip from hell. It could have been 0-5 easily. Knicks could have been coming back 6-12. Instead, they're coming back 9-9, tied for where they're in 8th place, only a half game behind the Toronto Raptors, who are 9-8. That's in the Eastern Conference. That's pretty impressive. We're ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 8-8, the Brooklyn Nets, who are 8-9. The Bulls, who are 7-10, who did beat the Celtics tonight, but the Bulls have been struggling as well. And the Miami Heat lost. They've lost 4 in a row. They are 7-11. They are 12th right now in the Eastern Conference, just above the Magic and the Hornets. And the Hornets are in 14th place because LaMelo Ball has been injured. And then there's Detroit. So the Knicks are looking pretty good right now. They really are. And it's kind of, I'm loving it. I'm having a great time watching them. This road trip was fun to watch. In fact, let's get to the highlights. So basically, they got off. They fought hard in that first quarter, and the score was. Let me get this up here. Well, I'm going to run through some stats for you guys. I'm going to run through some stats for you guys about the 5-game road trip in total. Now, remember this: Knicks went to Utah and Denver, who had not lost at home, and they dealt them their first losses. Yes, no Joker, I get it. No Gordon, I get it. But still, you're playing in Denver. We haven't won since 2006, so you got to tip your cap to that. Fantastic. Those first 2 wins were outstanding, but that key win was the Jazz win, because they were full strength, and we took them on, and we took that game away from them, and then went to Golden State, kind of didn't really have it. That first quarter just sunk them, and they really couldn't overcome anything else. Yesterday's game against Phoenix was a bit demoralizing. They looked soft, like I said. They looked disjointed. They looked fatigued. They looked like they didn't really understand how to win that game. But tonight, on a second game of a back-to-back, they took care of business in OKC, a team that had completely destroyed us last time in Madison Square Garden. They lit us up for 145 points. Yeah, we scored 135, but they lit us up for 145 points at Madison Square Garden, and that was one of the more humiliating losses that we had had. So this is wonderful to have that revenge. And tell you, R.J. Barrett woke up today. He woke up tonight from his from his recent struggles. He had been shooting horrific. I think he was averaging 4.5% from the three-point line in the past 6 games or so, 5 or 6 games. It was brutal. Well, tonight was a whole different story. He totally caught fire, and I could not be prouder of the way he approached this game. Did he have 6 turnovers? Yes. And that's the stuff with him. You know, sometimes he tries a little too hard, and he definitely made some bonehead mistakes, some of the turnovers, there were some bad calls, honestly, I thought. But the refs were calling this game really inconsistently, kind of a little too tight in the first quarter, and then they kind of let some stuff go in the second quarter, and they went back to calling it tight again. I didn't really understand their refereeing point of view tonight. It was very inconsistent. But here's the thing. In this 5-game road trip, the Knicks, they're coming back 3-2, which is a shocker. I mean, we would have been happy with 2-3, to be honest. But coming back 3-2, now we're coming back 500. Fabulous. The Knicks field goal percentage, they shot 43.9% during this entire 5-game road trip. That is 28th in the NBA. Just 2 from the bottom. They scored 109.8 points per game, which is 20th in the NBA. So it's not like they were lighting up. Their 3-point shooting, which has been terrible, well, it was 28.9% in this 5-game stretch, which was 26th in the NBA. But this is where it gets interesting. They took care of business at the free throw line. In fact, they went to the free throw line 27 times, which was 5th most in the NBA. 5th most during that 5-game stretch. Let's get to the, here we go. Here's the second half. Look at RJ. Nice. See the high arc on his shot this time? Beautiful. And his way his legs kicked out slightly, very quiet. Oh, that was a tremendous pass. And that was Mitch. Mitch, he gave him the upward finger, and JB delivered. Look at that one. This was fantastic. It was a clinic. Brunson put on a clinic in the second half. Dort is a problem. I'm really happy for him how his game has come around. He's scoring now. He's become a real scoring threat now. Look at that. Look at that. Talk about a high arc. That was a huge bucket. In fact, that was it. The game, they were only 6 points down, and then boom. There you go. This is an example of how the difference between this year's Knicks and last year's Knicks. This year's Knicks has a guy like this who can deliver us a victory when we need it, who gets the bucket when we absolutely have to have it. That's his job, and he delivers it. He does it beautifully. All right, back to this. So the Knicks 5th in field goal attempts, in free throw attempts, but they are 5th in free throw percentage. They shot 82.2% from the free throw line during this 5-game trip. So we weren't hitting the 3, weren't necessarily lighting it up from the overall from the field, but the free throws were there. We were getting to the line. And the other most important stat, turnovers. The Knicks only committed 12.8 turnovers during this 5-game stretch, which is tied for 3rd best in the NBA during that 5-game stretch. So we took care of the ball, and we went to the charity stripe, and connected. We did not leave points on the table. That is beautiful. Even though tonight there were some weird turnovers, and actually right there I didn't show. That was I thought that was going to be a turnover, but that was a nice bounce pass from RJ, which led to a beautiful 3-point shot by Randall in the corner. Randall was an interesting guy. He did finish with 25 points, and I'll get into the stats, but there was something about his body language, his demeanor. It was kind of odd tonight, but I'll get into that later. All right, the net rating for the 5-game stretch. Knicks were outscored a minus 2.9. Yeah, we come back with a winning record on the road trip, but we were outscored by 2.9. Minus 2.9 was the net rating for 17th in the NBA during that stretch. But defense, opponents' field goal percentage, the efficiency field goal percentage. We held them to 52.7%, which is good enough for 10th best during that 5-game stretch. Then the opponent's field goal percentage, the overall field goal percentage, was 45.2%, which was 6th best. So the Knicks tightened up their defense and harassed shooters to not let them get good, clean looks. It's kind of hard to absorb that when we look at what happened in some of those games, like with Phoenix and with Golden State. But this is the reality of them. And they held their opponent's 3-point shooting, which they were almost second to last at one point, to 19th best. they held the opponent to 35.8% from the three-point line, which is not great. Definitely got to reduce that, but it's better, much better. And it definitely helps to have Quentin Grimes out on the court. He was awesome in that first quarter. I loved his defensive intensity, the way he picks up the ball handler when he crosses over the half-court line early. He was fantastic. He was poking balls away left and right. Very happy with this game. Here's the other thing. The combined records of the Jazz, Nuggets, Warriors, and Suns. And the Jazz and Nuggets, like I said, they lost their very first games at home to the Knicks. The combined home records of those four teams was 25-4. And the Knicks dealt 2 losses to those teams. So this is definitely something to feel good about. The Knicks came home and they came home after taking care of business, or they're coming home. Let's put it this way: they're not home yet. They're still in Oklahoma at this point right now. They're probably just like, who knows where they are, but they should be feeling good about themselves at this moment. Very, very happy with the end result. Look at this play right here. Nice. Look at Quickley also woke up. So we had Quickley hitting his buckets, RJ hitting his buckets, Grimes getting in there and playing excellent basketball. Randall was hitting his buckets, and then Brunson. The three guys, the big three, all scored over 20 points, and I'll break that down in a second. In fact, let's get to it right now. Here we go. Well, here's Barrett. RJ, 25 points on 10 of 16 from the field. 3 of 4 from the three-point line. You saw that one highlight, how nice, that nice high arc on his shot. You heard Wally talking about it during the broadcast. When he refers to soft legs, it means that it's more like you're more in rhythm. You know, you're not so tight. Because when you tighten your leg muscles up, it sometimes shortens up your shot. And then you try to compensate for it on the release. So that's not a really clean look. He softened up his legs, and now it's happening. Grimes needs to get to that point again. His three-point shot isn't there right now. But look at that beautiful bounce-back game for RJ Barrett. I want to see RJ go on a run, one of his runs that he does, 10, 15 games like this, where he's averaging over 50% from the field, 45% from the three-point line, and just getting to the hoop and getting to the free throw line. That's his game. Let's do it. But look for your teammates. Don't forget about making that pass. He had 2 nice little passes there, but for assists, only 2 assists though. He needs to up that. He's got to average at least 4 or 5. For someone who takes as many shots as he does and the ball is in his hands as often as it is, he needs to average at least 4 or 5 assists per game. No doubt about that. But excellent breakout game. He looks so much better. He looks like he's over his whatever illness that he was experiencing. And that is a big reason why the Knicks were able to win this game. So here we go. Randall, 9 of 16. So RJ shot 10 of 16. Randall's 9 of 16. He had 2 of 6 from the three-point line. 25 points, 11 rebounds. But Randall only had 1 assist as well. Luckily, Brunson was, he was feeding. He was eating, and he was feeding others. Beautiful. Loved the way Brunson played tonight. Mitch, unfortunately, he left the game in that third quarter with his sore knee again. Hope it's nothing serious, but it was a bummer. But it allowed Sims to get some big minutes. 15 minutes, 3 of 5 overall, 7 rebounds. Again, another very solid game. 6 points for him. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's having some issues. He looks like he doesn't really understand how to defend the perimeter. And he's actually admitted that himself. He was having a very bad, well, I wouldn't say very bad, but he was having a rough stretch in the game. But then he tightened it up late in that third quarter, and he was able to contribute to some winning basketball at that time. He came away with 8 rebounds himself. But look at Immanuel Quickley. 6 of 8 from the field, 4 of 5 from the three-point line. And it looked, it just net. He was just splashing net. It was beautiful. Again, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 18 points. Look at that solid stat line for Immanuel Quickley. 25 minutes he played. Fantastic. Obi struggling. He looks off. 2 of 11, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, only 3 rebounds. He did have 1 assist for 5 points. He looked off. But at one point, because Mitch wasn't available, And Sims, I can't remember the actual rationale for it, but Thibs went small. And we had Obi and Randall out on the court. I believe that was in the fourth quarter with IQ and RJ. And yeah, excellent. They actually delivered that small ball lineup. They actually built the lead up at one point in that fourth quarter. I think they got it up to about 17 points. And then OKC, of course, they kept coming. But Brunson wouldn't let him. Brunson wouldn't let him get close enough for them to really taste the comeback. Shut them down. Beautiful. Knicks only shot 32.4% from the three-point line. But look at the overall field goal percentage. 52.6%. They feasted in the paint because OKC doesn't have a rim protector there. Poku was hurt. So here, Randall ended up with a +8, Mitch a +5, Brunson a +5, Barrett a +3, Quentin Grimes a +9. Oh, let me see Grimes' stats here. At 33 minutes for Grimes, 4 of 10. He missed all 4 of his three-point attempts. But he did have 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and he did get into a little bit of foul trouble. Let's see, how many steals did he have? He only got credited with 2 steals. And Deuce McBride, he got some time because Derrick Rose is hurt, and I hope he recovers soon. But Deuce finally got some minutes. He only got credited for 2 steals here, but to me, it looked like he had like 5. Seriously, deflections. He had an excellent game. Really, just top to bottom, everybody played a very solid game. Very, very solid. OKC, of course, Shai Gilgeous is always going to be a problem. He got them 30 points on 22 field goal attempts. And Dort, again, another problem, 24 points, 9 of 14 shooting, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. That guy's a beast. Sometimes he would go right up into Randall's grill, just bump chests and still make the bucket and get the foul off Randall. And I think he gives up like 4 inches to Randall. So that guy is tough. I love his game. I'm a fan of OKC Thunder's line, their roster. And we're not even seeing Chet, and Poku didn't even get to play tonight. This guy, Baisley, he also hurt the Knicks. But we were able to counter every single time. Look, we have to be happy right now. This is the kind of game that if the Knicks are to make a serious run for playoff contention, these are the kind of games they need to win. And they took care of it. The Utah game, that was just, it was a great response to the humiliating loss to OKC on that Sunday before they went on a road trip. And then Randall called a team meeting and they got it together and they went out to Utah and they took that game away from them. And I loved that response. And then we caught a break without Joker and Aaron Gordon in Denver, but it was the second game of the back-to-back. And that's really different. It's one of the toughest back-to-backs you'll ever play. And we pulled that game out. So, and then, we dropped 2 games to 2 very good teams. Golden State, they're the NBA champs, and the Suns, they were in the finals 2 years ago. So it was, but even though they didn't have CP3, I still think we should have won that Phoenix game. We should have, but that's why I was so hard on them yesterday when I did the recap on them. Well, today they came back with an actual response, a meaningful response that resulted in a big, big convincing win. So have to tip your cap to the team and the response that they had tonight. I am ecstatic with where we're at right now. 9-9, 500 team. This is it. And I think we play on Friday. So they have 3 games off, 3 nights off. They can rest up. Hopefully Mitch will be available. Maybe we'll get some good news about Cam. Grimes is back and he's in the rotation and he's showing you what his playmaking. There were times like he was feeding people. I forgot who he gave this beautiful bounce pass to for an easy bucket. Great game for him. And his length really helped bother Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey whenever he was on them. Which brings me back to the whole thing about last Sunday. If Grimes is on the bench and he's available, why not use him? Why use a guy who's sick? Or even in the other games when RJ, we won the Utah game and the Denver game with RJ playing terribly because he was still sick. Why not utilize Grimes? don't understand the rationale that Thibs had there. I still don't get it. So here are the team stats. As you can see, let's look at the rebounding. So the rebounding was a plus 10 for the Knicks, 48-38. The turnovers, we had 15, they had 14. Pretty close. Fast break points, we won that. Points in the paint, 72-60. We owned them there. Our largest lead was 17 points, and that was in the fourth quarter at one point. Look at that, 16 of 20 from the free throw line, 80% shooting. Fabulous. We put up 34 3-point shots. I'd still want to see more. I want to get up into the 40 range. Get up in there. It only helps guys. The more attempts they put up, the better chance that they have of actually finally getting into some grooves. So hopefully we'll see some more of that. There it is, guys. New York Knicks are now 9-9. They're coming back to New York, 500, 8th place. We could not have expected more than what we got. We're on the very positive side of a 500 team. And this is not, and I'm going to keep repeating this, because I keep hearing the word mid. Because mid is not the same for a team that's over the hill and has bloated with contracts and they're not going anywhere. When you have a bunch of young guys hustling, playing defense, and trying to win every single game, they're only going to get better. So this is progress from where we were. The mid thing is just driving me nuts. It's not the same as mediocrity. Mediocrity means you're not trying to do anything. You're not trying to be good. These guys are trying to be good. Do they have the right coaching staff? I don't believe they do. Do they have the perfect roster? Obviously they don't. But they are hustling. They are trying. And they are, I mean, look at Immanuel Quickley tonight. If he can string together, 3 or 4 more games like this, maybe he'll break out of those doldrums. But this is the year. This is the year, Quickley. This is the year, RJ. This is the year, Obi. I'm talking to you guys. This is the year. No more excuses. Same with Cam. Cam has been delivering. Grimes, I know it's year 2 for you, but this is it. This is important. You need to play your hearts out. Have to. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please hit the thumbs up button, drop your comments, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.